What's up, fighting fans? Tips from the Fight IQ channel. Today we are back for the second edition of the Fight IQ Unplugged, and this week I had the pleasure to have a conversation with Frans Mlambo. Frans Mlambo is a fighter at PFL. He's fighting in the Europe tournament for the Bantamweight division, and he reached the final, which will be in Dublin on the 8th of December. I'm really grateful to Frans to take his time in order to speak with us. Let's call him real quick. What's up, fighting fans? Tips from the Fight IQ channel. I have the chance to be with Frans Mlambo. Welcome, Frans.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. So first of all, Frans, I would like to talk a bit more about your background. So I checked a few interviews from you before talking to you. I checked your fights as well. But I didn't come to the answer, how did you come through martial arts?
Well, I've always really been into martial arts, really. I mean, since I was a kid. Started off doing karate at like 10, yeah. Yeah, that was actually my first sport, because initially I was into actual just martial arts, like, you know what I mean? Like, as in, like, traditional martial arts, flipping kung fu and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I was interested in.
Okay.
At the time when I was a kid. And then when, in my early teens, I went into boxing, 15, actually.
Nice.
Started boxing, and then I was just kind of naturally good at boxing, like, and the coach just kind of said, do you mean I have potential pretty soon as I got there? So I was like, right, might as well do this, like, you know what I mean? And I liked it as well, like, I enjoyed it at the time, obviously, because I was all right at it, and it was just fun to do, and then eventually just kind of lost the love for boxing, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Not necessarily the sport so much, but the background stuff of it all, you know what I mean? There's so much politics in amateur boxing. You know what I mean? I had to deal with some shit that in the later years I heard that it happens to loads of people, you know what I mean? That's just the way
it keeps happening.
It just happens. But yeah. So I'm like, nah, that's not flipping. That's not cool at all. So a friend of mine, that's actually mad. The friend that actually brought me to the MMA gym, he passed away there a few months ago when I was in Italy.
Sorry to hear that.
But yeah, anyway, so a friend of mine got me to SBG, and then I've been there since, man.
Yeah. Did you compete as a kid? Because you say you were into karate, also boxing. Were you competing?
Yeah, boxing, like, as in with karate, like, I started with my dad's friend, yeah.
Okay.
And that was very shortly before I moved to Ireland. And then I was moving around different places initially, so I mean, I kept moving from gym to gym. Never really got settled in anything, you know what I mean? And but I competed in boxing. Like, boxing was that at the time that was going to be my career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was going to be eventually. I was going to look to go into the Olympics and then eventually professional and all that. And then, like, I was I had loads of bleeding fights, boxing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ended up leaving it. I was off for like a year, came into MMA. But when I came into MMA, I was like, I think this is it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is martial arts. This is what I've actually always wanted instead of just the boxing. But then it just took way longer than expected to get used to all the groundwork, you know what I mean? All the jiu-jitsu and kind of stuff like that.
That's a different sport, yeah.
But, yeah, exactly. So once we got that unlocked, man, we're flipping flying now.
Yeah. Then you found your true calling with MMA, like something more complete, and that's more what you wanted than boxing then, yeah?
Exactly.
To talk about...
Because I still utilize my boxing. That's my strongest weapon, like,
for sure.
In any fight, you know what
I mean, if we check your highlights, most of your highlights are always your boxing skills, so yeah, for sure.
This is it.
Definitely. You had an amateur career in MMA. You have 12 fights, with, if I'm not wrong, 4 finishes, something like this, and 10 wins, so that's quite good in 2 years, so that's quite a lot, to be honest, even for amateur. Was it important for you to go through the amateur process in MMA? Or were you like, okay, as soon as they say I'm ready to go, then let's go pro?
No. That was never an option to me in Ireland. I don't think anybody does that in Ireland. You have to have a few amateur fights. You can't just go pro unless you're like, do you know what I mean? Or I don't know, already professional at something else. You know what I mean? I wasn't professional at something else, so I did have to actually go amateur at the time, which was a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
And I had actually set for myself to get to 10 fights and then go pro. And then before we got there, or just about getting there, I found out about the IMMAF,
yeah,
the World Championships. Like, so I set that as my goal then to win that and then go pro, and I did that. So it was it was time to get going, man.
Yeah, that process in amateur is less. There is less rules, I would say. Like, you don't have a rule that say, okay, you have to get into championships and to getting some distinction before going to pro. So yeah, it's quite amazing that you did that anyway. Like, you got the distinction as amateur and then you went pro. So
exactly.
After reaching that goal, you felt like you were ready, right? Like, that was your time to go pro.
Yeah, I did. I felt like I was ready, but at the same time, even with all that, you know what I mean, I realized very quickly into my pro that I wasn't as ready as I thought, because like, as good as I was a striker, you know, the groundwork was my downfall, and you know what I mean, everybody took advantage of that. Indeed. It didn't always work for them, but you know what I mean, it did a few times, which is a few times too much. But you know, we hashed that out, and now we're more. I'm more of a complete MMA fighter. So and it showed in the last while.
For sure, by PFL, I think everybody saw it that you were complete. Did you have any inspiration going through MMA, or were you more like, okay, that's my path, no matter, it doesn't matter to reach somebody's level or whatever, but were you interested in someone like showing you the way, or was it more a natural calling for you?
I always knew I was going to be a fighter of some sort, you know what I mean? Whether it was going to be on the big screen or in a cage or in the ring or whatever. I needed to do some type of fighting or something else, but I mean, it was always the kind of plan. So when it came about, like, really, when I started watching MMA and seeing Anderson Silva and all that, seeing that strikers can actually make it and all that, you know what I mean? That kind of was like, mate, I'd love to be in them type of things. He just made fighting so exciting. You know what I mean? Like, you looked at him as an actual real life ninja type shit. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
And yeah, the fact that, you know, somebody can do that was amazing to me. So I wanted to kind of do the same thing, you know.
I like the fact that you name Anderson Silva. That's also one of my all-time favorite, and also the guy that made me love the sport. So that's cool to hear. It was also kind of inspiring for you.
Man.
You have a nickname which is the Black Mamba. Is it related to Kobe and the Mamba mentality, or is it something else?
It isn't at all related to Kobe. To be honest, when I was given the name Black Mamba, I didn't even know Kobe had I'm not into basketball. I didn't really know much about that. I didn't know he was a Black Mamba at the time. I think it was early, but it was given to me by John and Adam Loboff after a fight I had. It was an amateur fight, I think it was like my fourth fight or something. I was fighting this it was good. He was a good guy at the time. Like, he was, you know what I mean, they were hyping him up to be the next thing, and he was like, you know, he basically had an entourage with him, and this was at amateur, you know what I mean, and he was going around, he had the black belt and stuff like that. They were like, this guy is hot shit coming up, and I absolutely destroyed this guy, right, like, crushed him, so after that fight, John and Artem were like, "You're the Black Mamba." I never wanted a nickname. I never wanted like a fighter name. I just thought Frans Mlambo, that's me. That's done.
That's true.
And then they said, "Here, we're dubbing you the Black Mamba." I was like, "Right, fair enough. It rhymes with Lambo, so we'll take it." And it's caught on pretty good. And then now I fully embraced it. And then actually, I went to South Africa a few years ago, and I was getting interviewed by Alistair Bishop, who had the Big Al podcast at the time, legend of it, absolute hero, this guy. But anyways, as I was talking to him in an interview, I told him, I was like, I'm Zulu, like, and he's like, what? So you're a Zulu Irishman? Actually, like, that kind of has a ring. He's like, he's like, I'm gonna call you the Zulu Irishman from now. And I was like, you know what? You don't have to call me that. I'll put it as part of the, you know, the name. So, you know, whatever type situation comes along,
you have different
whatever
nicknames.
they want to use. Yeah, exactly. They can use the Black Mamba or the Zulu Irishman, whichever one kind of works for whoever is presenting me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. So yeah, I have the two of them, and yeah, they've been treating me good so far.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, you train, as you said, by SBG in Dublin. I think that's the most iconic gym in Ireland. At least everybody knows it because of course, Conor McGregor.
I think so. Yeah.
How is it to train there for you? What's your experience there?
It's just all I've known training there, you know what I'm saying? Since I was, I think I joined MMA when I was like 22, 21 or 22, something like that. And since then, I've literally only ever trained in like one other gym. And that was 5 Fit Militia in South Africa. When I went there, I was training there for a few months before a fight I had. And Coach Kwan and all them lads. Apart from that, like SPG's all I've known, so yeah.
That's your home.
Well, it's been great. Like seeing the evolution of the gym and everything else.
For sure.
It's been fantastic, and it's great to be part of something so big. Like you know what I mean? Like everybody knows SVG, and SVG headquarters, of course, like specifically. But yeah, man, it's just great. But it's bittersweet sometimes because you're seeing loads of your peers getting very successful. You get success sometimes, but when you're low and you're surrounded by very successful people, it can be hard, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it can show you what you could get to, you know what I mean?
You were kind of there before it popped out, kind of. Like you were there 2016, something like this. That's when Conor started to be...
We're at the third gym now, as in we've moved building 3 times, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I was there since the first, like the Long Mile gym where all the OGs were. I'm talking about Paddy Houlihan, flipping Chris Field, Ashta Bash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, OGs, like obviously Kiefer Crosby still there, who's an original. Queely still there, Brian Moore still there. But we've lost a couple of OGs that are obviously doing their own thing and stuff right now. But yeah, it
happens. I also question, because you mentioned in a few interviews that sometimes you had to pick up a normal job, let's say, in order to pay the bills. But you're still a professional fighter, and you still have to train like a professional fighter. What is it like to mix them both?
Madman, because you know it's something that you shouldn't have. Like on my case specifically, right?
Yeah, true.
As soon as I became a pro, just before going pro, like I was getting flown all over the world, you know what I mean, hanging around with royalty, getting all types of matches going on. So I was like, mate, I'm flipping sorted now. So, and then a few years later, I'm in the Mac Mansion with all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? You're dealing at the highest level of MMA, and you're surrounded by that. And then a few years later, I'm doing flipping gardening. Do you know what I mean? Like at a time where I'm actually winning. It's not like I'm losing and I'm shit.
Right, good.
I'm on a 5-fight winning streak. I'm on a 5-fight winning streak, and I'm picking weeds out of a garden in the freezing cold. I'm like, this is crazy. And I'm still, you know what I mean, at a high level MMA fighter who's training and actually being successful. So it's just crazy how that can happen, but it's something that is hidden about the sport. You know what I mean? It's something that I feel like a lot of kids need to realize. But it's not even just about MMA. It's just about in general, man. You need to have backups galore, and especially if you don't have a family support system, because that's important. If you don't have that, then you're gonna need other stuff. But if you have that, then you're more blessed than others. But you need things like that, and unfortunately, that's not something I always had. You know what I mean? But I've made what I had work so far, and hopefully it keeps working.
Yeah, I hope so for you. That's all I wish. But yeah, that's important for the next generation to realize that you're not rich when you pro in MMA from the beginning. You can make money there for sure when you are.
Make money, yeah.
But that's not like, because you have to pay the camp, you have to pay for everything that comes through, like nutritionist if you have one.
You have to pay.
You have to pay a lot.
Or flip it. Yeah, people don't realize how expensive it actually is just being a fighter. You know what I mean? Just actually get to the ring, you spend so much, and by the time you get paid, then most of that is taken away.
Yeah.
And then you know what I mean? But the thing is, that's what's so fantastic about the PFL. You know what I mean? Because they're giving fighters opportunities to work around that kind of thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where, like, for example, I already fought for 100,000, right?
Yeah.
And that didn't. I had nothing to show for that. Like, that only lasted only a few months because of the amount I had to pay when I got it. You know what I mean? But with the PFL, at least you're getting paid every time before you even get there. Do you know what I'm saying? And even that is tight. So it's a new thing. This whole PFL Europe, man. I think it's just fantastic. Like, there's no kind of like, it's hard to describe the hopes I have for the PFL and for what they're going to do for fighters in Europe, you know what I mean? And worldwide, obviously they're only tapping into Europe. They're already in America and they're going into Africa as well. So, I'm very excited to be part of something like that, you know what I mean? Especially at such an early stage.
Yeah, because that's still quite recent, the PFL. I mean, okay, it starts to make some noise since 2-3 years, but that's really popping now with Francis Ngannou, for example, where he signed there, or even the Diaz brothers, Jake Paul, all those stuff. And I think it's a good alternative because it's a different kind of MMA that is presented. The format is different, I mean.
Exactly.
And the revenue is more equal for all the fighters, so I think that's really good that we have that now. For your nerves, so you have 10 questions. I hope you can answer quick.
I have to say before you start, I'm terrible at this type of shit. my brain just shuts down, but I'll give it my best shot. Let's go.
It's not that hard. I was not too picky with the questions. So, first questions. Tournament format of classic rankings?
Tournament format, for sure.
Nice. KO or submission?
KO is always sweet, man.
The boxer is talking. Movement or punching power, if you have to choose?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to choose movement.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought we would choose that. In the locker room, talking with the team or headphones with music before the fight?
See, that's too nuanced. Are these personal to me now?
Yeah.
I'm taking a nap, bro.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm taking a nap.
I like that.
Sure. That's I flip and take I take a nap before a fight, wake up, warm up, get into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I'm not like, I don't seclude myself either. Like, if I am awake or sitting there, I wouldn't just be in the corner. I'd be talking until I need to take a nap and then wake up and train. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody does that kind of stuff very different. Like, you know what I mean?
Everybody has his own ritual.
Exactly, and people think it's flipping crazy that the fact that I can sleep before a fight. But I just feel like it's crazy that they don't sleep before a fight.
I like it. I like that. Relax. Yeah, I like it. The 1 million prize or the UFC pay-per-view money?
Whichever is more. Whichever is more, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I love the PFL and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just going for the money, man. So whichever's offer it more, that's my choice all day, every day. Cause I've been asked this. Cause I had an opportunity actually to do the whole Ultimate Fighter thing. I actually got into the Ultimate Fighter, and I picked the PFL instead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of what was in offer. Like, for example, with the UFC, how many years would it take me to make $1 million? You know what I'm saying? With the PFL,
it can be a lot.
Obviously, I thought, I was under the impression it's going to be in 2024, the $1 million.
Yeah.
But apparently it's going to be in 25, right? In between that, I'm being
paid.
kept pretty active and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, we're getting paid, and I have a very good relationship with the promotion. So, you know, that'll come in time. But at this stage, man, don't really care that much about legacy or anything like that. I just need to make them. Obviously, I know that that's not what people want to hear. You know what I mean? I'm doing it for the love. I just want to get my life sorted and flip and get out of here, man. You know what I mean? Fighting ain't easy. Doing this whole weight cut training, getting punched in the face. I'm a fighter at heart. I love fighting. I'm just a fighter. I can't do anything about that. But at the same time, I need to fight to make a living.
I like the honesty. Everybody does what they like to do, if that's possible. Yeah. But if you make a living out of it, that's even better. So,
exactly. if I was doing what I love to do, I'd be a gardener right now. But gardening just does not give you 100 grand in December, does it?
For sure not.
It does not. It does not do that at all. So, like I said, we're chasing that quid, man.
Yeah,
but at
right.
the same time, I'm not saying I don't love fighting.
No.
I flipping love it. Like you know when I walk out to a fight and I hear that tune playing and I see the crowd, all that, man, there's nothing that compares to that feeling. Like, I love it, I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, you know, when you're outside of that, you need to still feel like a superstar. And the only thing that can make you feel like a superstar is fat
money.
For
exactly. Real. Oh, for real. Next questions. Main event in Ireland or in South Africa?
Oh, South Africa.
Nice.
South Africa. Because you know why? The only reason that is I know loads of Irish people will go to South Africa to watch me.
They will.
I don't think it'd be the same the other way around. You know what I'm saying? So I think I can bring more Irish to South Africa than I can bring South Africans to Ireland. That's cool. For that alone, I think I'll pick South Africa.
That'd be cool, a card in South Africa, I think. What's the more difficult, the diet or the trainings for a camp?
The training.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just have my nutrition shit sorted. I don't have a nutritionist, but I just have all that.
You have the knowledge to do that yourself, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm good when it comes to that.
I heard you talk in the podcast about it. I think it was, I don't remember the name of the podcast, but I saw it. And you're a vegetarian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Initially vegan, actually, but then, you know.
You switched to vegetarian.
Temptation will do that to you.
If it works out for you, that's the best. The rest is secondary.
It's not even that, right? Because technically, that's what I mean. Like, I had somebody coming to me saying, "Oh, well, do you eat honey?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They were like, "Oh, well, you're not vegan." I'm like, I don't really care that much. Like, if it hurts you that much, you know what I mean? Then fair enough, I'm a vegetarian. So to not offend people, I'll just say I'm a vegetarian. But, like, I don't eat meat or nothing like that. It's for health reasons and all that. But, yeah, whatever you want to call it. Vegan, vegetarian, I don't care.
All right. If you had to choose a second career, coaching or landscaping, what would you choose?
It depends if you ended that question and the two of them pay the same.
Yeah. Let's say, hypothetically, between being a coach in MMA or being a landscaper, they pay the same stuff. What would you choose?
Yeah, I choose coach because it's easier than landscaping. Wait, no, actually, what am I flipping talking about? I would never. Because you know when you said that, right? When you said that, I just automatically thought, sometimes you're in the rain or you're in the snow landscaping.
Yeah.
You're always in a warm gym as a coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? What's the easiest way out? But I feel like I'd have way more fun. I'd be more fulfilled myself, anyways, as a gardener, you know? Because I know what MMA kind of did to me. Do I want to be doing that to loads of other kids? I don't know.
Yeah, and it's hard, I think, to be a coach because you see your guys going to war and you cannot do anything to help them once they're in the cage.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. You know, as a gardener, the worst thing that happens, something you build, something you plant doesn't grow. All you need to do is just plant another one. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you get me anyways.
Would you like more to play in a movie or having a documentary made on yourself?
To be in a movie?
Yeah.
Or sorry.
Like you will be an actor in a movie or having a documentary centered on yourself?
Oh, right. Yeah, I lead a very boring life outside fighting, so I'd pick the movie for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
And last questions, do you prefer cooking or eating out?
Cooking.
Yeah.
Hey, see, all your questions are very nuanced. You know what I mean? It's like on any particular day, I can pick either
one or the other.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cause right? Because generally, I do love cooking, right?
Yeah.
But I just made some money there now, so all I've been doing is eating out for the last few days until I get back to training tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I've been enjoying myself, but yeah, we need to get back to cooking, and it's better for you. So that's a tricky question, bro.
Yeah.
You're throwing curveballs at me.
All right, that was it for this little game. So now we're gonna go more through your MMA pro career. So. I tried to check as much footage as I could. Some of the fights you cannot find, unfortunately. But I think I saw, on your 15 fights, I saw 10 of your fights. So, yeah. You went pro 2 months only after your last amateur fight. You won there via TKO at Bama 22. What was your first feeling when you won that fight? First win as a pro?
It made sense, bro, yeah? Because I was like, I'm here now. You know what I mean? I've entered. Because I'm saying, just finishing my amateur career, I had just won the World Championships. I had a hype train, man. You know what I'm saying? So that knockout just confirmed to me is like, yeah, this is it now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And this guy, like, the guy I fought there, he was supposed to be the big guy. He was supposed to be something coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was good, like, so doing that to him was fantastic.
You lost your next fight. That can happen. Being confronted to a loss that early in your pro career, how did you handle it? And also continuing further, because you bounced back directly. You came back there and you won. I mean, you did 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 win again. So what was your mental state, and how did you bounce back so quickly? And how did you maintain that level of confidence in yourself?
Well, I was like, I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of, and I showed that. That second fight was in Tokyo, yeah?
Yeah.
Flipping unbelievable, bro.
Yeah.
Right? So I get a call, and I'm in bed, sick, and just lying there, like, not training, not doing that, and just flipping lying sick, trying to recover. Like, I get a call that, like, here, 3 weeks time or something, we have a fight for you in Tokyo, Japan. I'm like, Tokyo, what? I was like, yes. I set up out that bed quicker than ever, right? And I was like, yes, I'll take it. After the call was done, went back into my sickness. Then I was like, right, we need to get working now, because in 3 weeks from now, I need to be fight ready. I've done everything I possibly could. I obviously agreed to the fight. Like I said, I don't back down, yeah? I agreed to the fight, even though realistically I wasn't in no type of position to be even training. Like, I could hardly do anything because I was in bits. Like, I don't know what I had, flu, I don't know what it was.
Crazy,
but anyways, I felt terrible. Yeah, right?
Crazy.
So, yeah. So we made it to Tokyo, and anyways, it wasn't that hard for me cutting the weight because I was already sick, but every bit of training was torture, like, because my body just wasn't able. But, you know, the closer it got, the better I was feeling, like, and I was like, actually, you know what, I think I've gotten rid of this. And we're warming up, got into the ring, and I just didn't have it, man. I threw my first combination, I was like, bollocks. This isn't gonna go well. Yeah. You know, you just know. Because in training, sometimes that happens and you're like, all right, look, I'll call it off or whatever. But I was in the pits of the shit now. And I was like, flipping out, we're just gonna have to weather this storm. And this flipping guy was a storm as well, and he came at me and
he was really good. He was really good.
He wasn't he didn't relent at all. This guy was throwing all types of elbows and shit to me. And I was just lying there thinking, mate, just flip and get it over and done it. I wasn't giving up by any means, but at the same time, I was like, oh shit, I was getting elbowed in the face. I was like, I can't even stop it, but here, sure, look, we're here now.
Oh my God.
But that was my first loss. It didn't really hurt me that much because I was like, I wasn't supposed to be here. Yeah. It was my dream to go to Tokyo, so it wasn't that hard to bounce back. It wasn't one of them wins where I was like, oh, you know, felt sad. I was like, yeah, grand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't really not expect that. You know what I mean? So I was like, that's okay, and I'll get it back. You know what I mean? Next one was a win, but then you tell me you continue there.
Yeah, I mean, then you also had a loss after that against Stefan Lohman, which is quite a big name.
You see at that point, right? I had actually, I'm just remembering now, I had actually started my amateur career, went the exact way. So I won my first one, lost the second, won the third one, and then lost the fourth. Then I was 2-2. I was 2-2 on my amateur career as well, and then I got to 13-2. So I was like, you know what, this is just playing out as it plays out. And then ran into Stephen Lohman again, unfortunately, and then took another loss, and another few more things. But that loss specifically was a mad one, right? Because
the first one?
It was a war. Yeah, my first one was Stephen Lohman, right? It was a mad one because it was an absolute war, and flipping crumbled the guy. Like, do you know what I mean? I dropped him in the first round.
Broke his nose.
Kept smashing him. Yeah, kept smashing him, but he just kept coming. Like, every round, this guy would just get better and stronger, and I was like, what's going on with this guy?
Yeah.
And, like, I had him flipping mangle. It broke his nose, flipping, he was dripping blood all over me. So much so that I could nearly taste and smell it. It was horrible, yeah? I was flipping drenched in this guy's blood. It was a proper fight, yeah? And he just nudged it, you know what I mean? Which was mad, because he literally got taken out on a stretcher, and I was still going around, hopping around, and I was like, mate, I felt like I'd won it, but I felt like I just lost on technicality of the fact that he had more control of the fight, even though I left him hospitalized, literally, you know what I'm saying?
You did the damage, but you had the control.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It'd have been different nowadays than it was then. But with all that being said, we fought then the second time, and he was just better, man. He was just stronger. I did knock him down. Again, I did give him a few smacks, but, you know, he solidified the fact that he's just a bit that better fighter on them two occasions. Well, on that one occasion anyways. So, yeah, we took that on the chin, and I still have great respect for Stephen Lohman for being able to do that to me, first of all.
Real.
And but he went on a tear. I think after that he was like 6 years undefeated or something. Man, you know what I mean? He's something crazy.
He's a great fighter, to be honest. He's now fighting at one championship. He just lost last weekend.
He just lost. I just seen that. On the same day I was fighting in Paris, actually.
But before that he had quite an amazing win streak. So
I'm not surprised. Like, the guy is
a good fighter. He's a good fighter.
Yeah.
And that will lead to one question of mine. But first, I would like to mention that at some point, for the first time of your career, amateur or pro, you had 2 losses in a row. First, Stephen Lohman at Brave, 13, and then Aiden James.
Aiden flipping James. That's another one, right? That's another one. That's what I mean. I've never really been that... Not one fight that I was like, you know what, I don't like this. But the Aiden James one, right? So this was a fight that Brave just gave me because I was really just hounding them for a fight. They hadn't given me a fight in a little while, and I was like, boys, I need to fight. Like, and so they were like, right, we'll give you this guy, James, who was just some guy coming up, and I just felt like he didn't deserve to be in the ring with me. I was just so much better. Do you know what I mean? And that's the attitude I went through my whole campaign, through the whole thing. I was like, this is just another me show, giving a show. I just didn't give this guy enough respect. And so we went into a fight, slapped him around a few times, and then, you know, just being lazy, he ended up taking my back, and I was like, whatever. Like, in training, it's very hard to choke me out. I barely get choked out. Like, I hardly tap in training, like, especially with rear naked chokes. I just have a really good way of defending them. So when he got that, I was like, nah, whatever. I'll let him burn his hands out until we get up and flip and smoke him. Yeah. And then 5 seconds later, the ref was waking me up. I was like, what the hell?
What happened?
What the hell? What the hell just happened? And so the ref was like, yeah, man, he done put you asleep, man. Yeah. And I was like, bollocks. I was like, here, look, that's my own mistake. I basically beat myself in that, just taking a professional fighter for granted. You know what I mean? It was a stupid thing to do. Obviously, this guy wasn't some type of bum. He was a trained professional fighter. You know what I mean? Who's getting flown across the world to fight you. So I should have gave him more respect, and I just feel like that loss is on me more than nothing else, man. You know what I'm saying?
I like that you owning it, like that it's your fault because you didn't give enough respect and not because he was better than you were.
I just didn't. Yeah, like I had won that fight before I even threw the first punch in my head.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it was just going to be a coasty type thing, and that's very disrespectful. And I learned that lesson that day anyway.
But again, after that loss, that second loss in a row, you fought back 2 months after. That's pretty crazy. I mean, not a lot of fighters are fighting 2 months after the last fight, and you fought and you won. You came back in the win column. How good did it feel to go back to the win column after that 2 losses in a row?
You see, winning feels normal to me.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Winning feels normal to me. But by the time Aiden James came around, then I was 4 and my whole flipping record was tarnished then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just soiled the whole thing for me. You know what I mean? So I was like, mate, I need to just keep this up. I can't flipping afford to lose no more. And then we ran into Ricky Banderas, which was just, if I started talking about that, we'll be here for ages. That whole shit just didn't make any sense, man. Like, I have never been dropped before or since then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've never been knocked out like that. You know what I'm saying? And so it still doesn't make any sense to me to this flipping day. I still want to get that fight back, but at the same time, you know, when that eats at me, I'm thinking the amount of people I flipping knocked out choked out and all this. You know what I mean? I can't be flipping obsessing over one loss. You know what I'm saying? That didn't make sense, whatever. But that's the fight game, man. I'm pretty sure there's at least 15 blokes out there in the world that are feeling the exact same thing about me. You know what I'm saying? Sure. So it is what it is, man.
Like, I mean, you won 15 fights and half of it is finishes. So I think there is at least 8 guys out there wanting your head.
At least, yeah, exactly. At least so you know what I mean. You gotta take it with a bit of pinch of salt.
It is what it is. Yeah. To come back on the type of opposition you fought, like from the beginning of your pro career, you fought like against tough opposition. I mean, Stephen Lohman, as we said, Aiden James. Even in PFL, you fought like two big guys, name in the bantamweight division.
Bellator as well, man.
Bellator, sorry, Bellator as well.
Yeah.
I mean, was it your wish to fight against that kind of opposition from the very beginning, or was it more a will to stay active and taking no matter what, whoever is going to fight you, you take it?
I've never picked a fight, and I've never rejected a fight. Whatever comes, I take. That's just literally been my outlook since the very first day I started fighting. You know what I mean? If there's somebody there, my way, my class, looking to scrap, I will flip and get in there. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I was always looking for the best. Because I feel like, and it shows, if you actually look at my fights and look at who I'm fighting, the better the fighter, the better I perform.
True that.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when I feel like I'm fighting a bit of a turkey, then I turn into a bit of a turkey. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is something I don't understand, because I don't do that in the gym. No matter what type of style I'm fighting, I'm still me in the gym. But for some reason, when it comes into fights, I tend to, you know, I don't know.
Adapt to your.
Just fight to my opponent's level or something like. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
For lack of better terms, but yeah, we need to sort that.
Yeah, and is it something that you regret sometime that you felt maybe, like for example, you fought Stephen Lohman, you had like 2 professional fights, and he had already something like 8 fights. I mean, is that something sometimes you regret and thinking, okay, maybe I should have bought my career a bit differently and get against tougher position later in my career, or is it something you think like it helped me grow into the sport and I'm good with that?
Yeah, I don't think I would have ever said no to fighting a guy. It's just as simple as that. You know what I mean? So, say if Brave had said, "Oh, do you want to fight Stephen Lohman?" I couldn't have never imagined saying, "Oh no, I'm not ready to fight this guy." You know what I mean? That's just something that just can't come out of my mouth. You know what I mean? So, you know, I look back and I'm like, right, I should have made certain decisions, but I don't think I would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You would do the same.
Yeah, so I think it is. The only thing I would do is just have been better at the groundwork at that stage. Because with that being said, because I did so good in my amateur with just my striking, I wasn't paying that much really attention to the whole MMA game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was just trying to be defensive, and I thought that would do me. If I could go back and change anything, I would just give more attention to jiu-jitsu and wrestling.
I see.
That's it, man. I feel like if I had been better at that earlier, because you have to realize, like, I did start MMA very, very late.
Yeah.
And all that jiu-jitsu and flipping wrestling shit was new to me altogether. You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't even really know what jiu-jitsu was until I started kind of watching MMA, you know? So it took a long time for me to really get a grip of that, and I think I'm there now. But at the same time, it's taken so long because I took it for granted for the first couple of years of doing MMA. You know what I mean? I just didn't think I needed it, but you flipping do.
Yeah, you do. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You offer me a great transitions because at the beginning of your pro career, I mean, sometimes you were targeted for your ground game. I mean, like some fighters, they didn't even try to punch you. They went directly to the ground, right? And
exactly. It's known like.
And it worked at the beginning against you, and then it didn't work anymore. There was a noticeable transition. Like I saw in your fights, like, okay, around that year it works, the next year it doesn't work anymore because you did.
It doesn't work no more.
You had good defense, then you also did some sneaky guillotine choke a few times. Was it something at some point in the gym you were like with the coaches, okay, now we're gonna work specifically on my ground game, on my defense, and whatever? Is it something that you did?
Not specifically for me. Just as I was paying more attention to jiu-jitsu, as I was doing it more, I just obviously got better at it.
Yeah.
And I just developed a certain thing, you know what I'm saying? And like I have a serious guillotine now, and that all comes from trying to defend people from taking me down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how I've developed it. And I have some of the bleeding best guillotines, man. Like guillotine game around, and just because I'm defensive with it, you know what I mean? I use it as a defense, and I've choked out bleeding black belts and all. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Which is mad, me saying that, because being a boxer, all this late developed in jiu-jitsu, but you know what I mean? I've submitted some high-level folks with that late developed ground game, so it's working good, man. So no, it wasn't that in specific, like training wise. It just kind of developed the more I gave it time.
Yeah, so it's more a personal approach from yourself, that you were like, okay, now I pay more attention to those kind of skills, and it developed itself. Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
In your career, you fought in a lot of different organizations and big ones. I mean, Brave is huge. Bellator is huge, PFL is huge, but you had to change a few times. Was it hard for you to find an organization that was matching your criteria financially and also giving you the proper opposition? Was it hard for you?
Yeah, exactly. Because you know what? Every single promotion from the flipping get-go, all I said was, mate, I need to be active. Like, that's all I wanted. Like, keep me active and give me the opportunity to make a living for myself. You know what I mean? Because I knew at the time, like, the money we were making at the time wasn't enough for it to have 2-3 fights. You know what I mean? I wasn't even getting that most of the time. So I was like, just keep me active. I'll fight every 2 months. I mean, I have that ability and and that want. You know what I mean? I want to do that. The more active I am, the better I feel. I haven't had that until now.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. The whole thing with the PFL is literally what I was wishing for a few years ago. So yeah, we're in the right place now, man.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's nice to hear. And yeah, now that you had a few, not a few years actually, 1 year and a half where you didn't fight, and you were coming off a great success. Like, you had five fights win streak, and then for 1 year and a half you didn't fight. Or was it for you not only financially, because I heard in the interview and you also told me that you had to pick another job to make ends meet, but also, or was it for you, how frustrating was it to not be in the ring, because you also love fighting, that you said, and or was it to stay on the sideline for so long for a fighter?
It was the flipping worst, man. But the thing is, right, not only was I not getting fights, that period was literally the flipping worst period of my whole life. And man, I didn't grow up easy. I'm from Johannesburg. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Alexandra, bro, yeah? I came from Joburg. Like, I wasn't raised on bleeding silver spoons, you get me? And even when I came to Ireland, you know what I'm saying? But with all that being said, like, that period was the hardest period of my whole entire life by flipping multiplications, yeah? And it was just crazy because, like you said, I was successful You know what I mean? I was like, the last thing I had done before that layout was win a bleeding thousand, $100,000 on a one night flipping tournament where I'm fighting three different fighters.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? That's like, you should be flipping. I should have been. Like, I should have been. I don't even know what I'm saying I should have been, but I should have been something. And to have then be laid off for that long, not have fights, flipping whole life falling apart, bleeding, family dying. It's crazy. It was like it was like life was trying to break me for that long period of time. And the longer I was trying to hold on, it was like the harder I was trying. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I kept taking it day by day, and then all of a sudden we have the PFL calling, we have the UFC calling, and it was just all coming together. Like, so, you know what I mean? I don't do this, and I feel like this is just a good time to just say, I don't know if anybody's watching this, man, and you're going through some mad hard times, like just hold on. I'm telling you, because eventually it'll work out. Like, because like, I was at a point, bro, where I was nearly at the edge. Like, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I'm being successful, and everything just seems to be going wrong. It seemed like somebody was playing a prank on me on a global scale. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
And I was just like, you know what? I'll leave it till tomorrow, and I'll leave it till tomorrow. And I just kept saying that to myself. And then now we're flipping 2 fights, winning. I'm 7-fight winning streak. I'm to fight for 100,000 in a couple of weeks in my home city. Flipping, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's all working out. So, and then that gives me the potential then to go into the 100 to the million. And even if it doesn't, and like, say if it doesn't work out, I don't get this, which is madness. You know what I mean? We get another shot next year.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because because it's not seeming likely that the million yoke is going to be next year, which is heartbreaking to me. But at the same time, you know, I'm excited enough to stay here for now and you know, work towards that anyway. So long answer to your question, but I hope I answered it correct, man.
No, you did. There's no correct answer. I mean, that's what you're feeling. I want to hear, and that's what you're giving me. So that's perfect. Nice. And I hope it helps people also going through hard times, that they know it happens to everybody and it works out.
Yeah.
So.
Because, man, sometimes life can just take a turn, innit? Out of nowhere. Crazy.
For real.
But yeah.
And so now you're in PFL. You like it there, and that's nice to hear, because it's not always the case. You're fighting for the Europe tournament, the Bantamweight tournament. You reach the finals after fighting Mokhtar Benkassi last time in Paris, 30th of September. Yeah. How was it to prepare for those fights, the tournament fights, and knowing that you had to switch opponents quite last minute last time? How hard was it to prepare those fights?
Wasn't. I was just preparing to fight anybody.
Anybody.
And I was preparing to fight a striker as well, because I knew Nucci was a striker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was confident enough that he was going to want to strike until he didn't. Do you know what I'm saying? And I had something ready for that as well. But then, like, I think it was 3 days before the fight, we get a change of opponents. But that's what I'm saying to everyone. I don't care about the opponent. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make a difference to me. So, it didn't make a difference. Like, obviously, but with that being said, I was very appreciative of Benkassi taking the fight, because, you know what I mean, very last minute for him as well. Like, I was training for a fight. I don't know if he was, but he took it anyway. And you know, man, it was a flipping hard fight as well. Like, you know what I mean, he didn't make it easy. So it was tough. Like, I hit that guy, kicked him square in the face,
and he stayed there.
Like, I did in the face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like, mate, I just punched you and kicked you in the face, and you're acting like none of that just happened. What's going on with you?
Crazy.
But we just kept going, man.
To be honest, I think I saw some of the best bantamweights in the world in that tournament. To be honest with you, to be real, I mean, the strengths of all those guys that were in the semi-final, that was crazy, man. I mean, that's high-level shit. High-level shit.
Yeah, and that's what they said to us. Like, when we got there, that's what they said to us. Like, they're like, here, guys, you're here now, and you're here because you're the best.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We picked the best around Europe, and that's what you are here for, and that's what you're competing against. So that's what they said from the start. They're like, this is what you're in for, and it's held true so far, man. Yeah.
They didn't lie.
They did lie. They did lie. Oh, here, bro. I'm gonna say to you just a second, right?
Yeah.
My phone is very low on battery.
Oh, okay.
It might die at any point. Yeah.
Okay. Or is it to fight at home for the final? How much does it affect you, positively or negatively or whatever?
It will be positive. Do you know what I mean? Because for that week, I'm going to be a flipping superstar. And I love being a superstar. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I'm only joking. But it's going to be good, man. I haven't fought in Dublin in ages. And I feel like I've come out of the limelight of the Irish scene since I've been off the market for so long. You know what I mean? Obviously, Berlin and stuff like that. I piqued a bit of an interest, but then to be back in the Tree Arena of all things at the end of the year, you know what I'm saying? For such a big event, I think it's going to just be fantastic. So
I think so too.
I'm looking forward to it, man. Yeah, it couldn't be more perfect.
I'm going to try to go there as well. I went to the Tree Arena for Bellator 299. It was crazy. So I think it's going to be even more.
Well, then, you have to be there.
I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
And you're fighting against Khurshid Kakorov, which is a guy you seem to have a story with. Like, you train together, right? Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How much of a benefit do you think that is for you? Or is it more benefit or more disadvantage that this guy knows you as well?
Don't think it makes that much difference, really, because well, it does, because I don't really like to fight people that I've trained with. That's the only difference. Do you know what I mean? But realistically, like, it was a few years ago. You know what I mean? Like, I remember him and all that, but you know what I mean? He's not.
He changed and you changed. Yeah.
Like, because I've seen him. But the thing is, he's changed for the better. I'm not going to lie, he's much better than he was. He's good, and he's strong as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that just makes me more excited. Because at the time, whatever, it was grand, yeah? But I'm fighting a different fighter now. So the fact that I trained with him doesn't really hold. Oh, I don't know. It just kind of, I'm more familiarized with him. That's all it is. But do you know what I'm saying?
I know.
It doesn't really. Yeah, we're still going to fight, and it's still going to be what it is, but
That's cool. You seem both to have a lot of respect for each other, and I think that's also what's good about this game. Like, at the end of the day, you're going to fight, you're going to smash yourself, but you respect each other. That's good.
Let me tell you a story about that. Actually, right? That just kind of blew my mind about this sport, right? I remember I was fighting Dominic Wooden, right?
Yeah.
Bellator.
Yeah.
I think it was my second fight or something there.
Second fight at Bellator,
yeah, I was elbowing him in the head, like multiple elbows to the head, so much so that my elbow was starting to hurt. And then he kind of turned his head, and I elbowed him in the back of the head, and I stopped for a second, and I was like, oh shit, bro, sorry, are you okay? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm good, bro. And then I just kept elbowing him in the head. And then as I was doing that, I was like, that was a flipping mad interaction.
That's madness.
Like, I stopped in the midst of elbowing him because I elbowed him in the wrong spot. I stopped, and then we communicated for a second. And he was like this is how he responded to me. He's like, oh, I'm good, bro.
Giving you the green light.
Yeah, he gave me the green light to just continue. I was like, that was flipping madness.
That's crazy.
And I just kept elbowing him. The fight went as it went, but that interaction always stayed with me, man, because I just think that's just unreal.
That's madness, yeah. Last question for me. How do you deal with the amount of pressure that you set for yourself? Because you're saying that since the very beginning of your entry to the PFL, your goal is the 1 million prize. From the very beginning you said that. Or is it for yourself? That kind of pressure that you set. You put your standards really high, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I do. But I don't know, man. I don't really feel that much pressure really about it. Like, I always get that question, and I always kind of have to think, what am I pressured about? I don't flip and feel it. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Like, I just flip and go with the flow. There is no pressure to it. The only pressure that's in it is like, you know, I'm just kind of realizing that if this doesn't work for me, I'm pretty screwed. Like, you get what I'm saying? That's the only pressure there is.
It is.
Do you know what I mean? I just have to make this work, because if it doesn't, what am I going to do? Exactly. I don't want to say it, but thanks for saying it. Because it's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I just have to win. It's just as simple as that. I can't afford not to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. I like it that you say that. Can't afford to lose. That's pretty deep. But yeah, I wish you all the best, all the success you deserve, because you're a great fighter. I think you're really underrated. Part of the best bantamweight in the world for sure. Like what you did in the tournament and the guys that you are fighting, that's crazy. So I wish you all the success. Guys, please follow Frans on social medias. Give him the strength he needs to fight in December, in 2 months now. Pretty crazy. And Frans, thank you so much for the time you gave me and the opportunity you gave me to interview you. I really appreciate that.
It's been a fantastic interview, man. Appreciate it.
So that was it for this edition of Fight IQ Unplugged. I'm really grateful to Frans Mlambo. I really appreciated that he took his time in order to share his experience with us. I think that's really eye-opening on what's the day-to-day of an MMA professional fighter. I think it was also really inspiring and really honest. I will put his social media in the description, so please guys, go follow him. Go give him the strength he needs in order to get the win in that final. I hope you appreciated the video. I will see you in the next Fight IQ show. Stay safe and enjoy the fights.